All right, we are back, game two, and once again, Truffle is away for a moment, but I have Nickel here. Nickel, that last game, what should Nine Lives do differently?
Don't let Exia turn on.
Okay.
Period. Anyways, no, I felt like that was not really the Team Nine lives that we've seen in previous games. I don't know what it was. It just was they fell apart. It seemed after that Cloud Drake fiasco,
Hmm.
where where Blitzkrieg got the steal, and then just surprised them so much that they were just able to get the kill. They were holding their own pretty well, but then it just went. I don't know if it was just poor targeting on their part or poor decision making, but they possibly could have gone out without giving the ace. But it was, or wait, no, that wasn't the ace. That game was so short, and mixing up what happened, it was just a big blur of just massacre. Anyways,
Well, I mean, it
but
is
yeah,
always difficult to come back from an ace with that much tempo. The game was close enough that huge tempo plays of that nature um, really can cause difficulties in coming back, particularly when you have players who are such hard carries and such threats as someone like Exia playing on Ari. My big concern for Nine Lives in trying to pick the pieces up and put back together is what do you ban for this next game? Reminding everyone at home, the first set of bans that Nine Lives did was they did um, Zed, LeBlanc, and Renekton.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. Just to jump in here for a second, I actually wouldn't change any of the bans. I feel like they lost. Nine Lives did come out of the pick ban phase at a disadvantage. I would change things up, but I wouldn't change their tier one bans.
okay. I don't know. I mean, because you're gonna let Ari through then. I mean, unless Nine Lives is gonna take Ari, I don't think they want to run into Ari again. Unless, I mean, who would you recommend picking mid against Ari then? We've seen Exia destroy like Oriana's mid with Ari. Um,
I like the Galio choice. I don't think that that exact matchup is what ended up losing Nine Lives the game. I actually think it had more to do with the AD carry choice. I think I love Brandana on Tristana. It is such a treat to watch. I would pick something much more early game, something that spikes at like 20 minutes. Or maybe even earlier. Some I'm thinking like Lucian, for example. Just something like that. And then that way, that Nine Lives team's win condition will be online at the exact moment that they need it to be, as opposed to at the 35-minute mark, which obviously they didn't get to.
yeah, I mean, obviously going someone that's got a little more aggression early could certainly help. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe Huge might be comfortable on Renekton, so they ban the three mid laners and pick Renekton. But then, of course, that leads into the problem of playing against somebody who knows a particular champion so well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if Huge is comfortable on Renekton, then actually that is a very valid idea. I'm not sure if that's what they'll end up going for or whatever, because like you said, I always feel like I know how to play against the champions I play the best, just because I know all of their little things. So I would like to see just play very carefully, not necessarily defensively, but carefully on Renekton if that is a choice they go for.
Well, it looks like everyone's signaling as ready, so let's see. They keep asking us if we're ready. Um, and then we will head into this second set of games with Blitzkrieg's very dominating performance still very fresh in everyone's mind.
woohoo! I have wondered too, just to shout out the chat, because he's bringing up a pretty good point. Maybe they should go for a Morgana rather than a Lulu pick. Maybe Morgana's shield would have helped out with that Ari. And
Yeah,
Yeah, especially
thoughts?
into a magic assassin like Ari or LeBlanc. Actually, Morgana makes a lot of sense, I think. Lulu is good against all assassins, so I can kind of see how Nine Lives might come in with a certain strategy, but actually that's a very valid adaptation.
oh, there's the adjustment. You already see them
I
bang the Ari.
I would not at all be surprised to see the LeBlanc ban come in here as number 3, but I also very much respect the Renekton ban against Wash Up top laner.
Well, we'll see what path they decide to go on here. If they do not ban the Renekton, I really hope they do pick it, because otherwise we'll see what happened in the last game again, but it'll be a Renekton carrying this time.
Well, I think if even if Udge doesn't have a plan into Renekton, or even if he's not able to play Renekton exactly, I would think that he probably at least has a strategy about how to play against Renekton. There's certainly safe people to do that into. Interesting that Blitzkrieg banned Kai'Sa as opposed to played Kai'Sa. So some respect to Brendan on that one.
Interesting they banned Kai'Sa instead of banning Veigar.
Yeah, that too. Veigar, obviously one of CB Hickey's favorite champions. One of the ones that he feels safest on. Talon is actually pretty good against Veigar, if my memory serves. So, kind of played a bit into Wash Up Top Laners, or I'm sorry, into Blitzkrieg's game plan there with that one. But Veigar does like to sit back and farm, and that's probably the right choice in the Axia.
Well, we'll see what happens. Assuming the Sejuani is locked in here, 9 Lives will have 2 chances to take Renekton away from Blitzkrieg. If not, I have to imagine Renekton is going to be the last pick of this first set. Ooh, if this is going to be a Rengar, that'd be really fun. I mean, we haven't seen Talon at all in a long time in the LCUS.
Yeah, I kind of undersold it, but I do. This Talon pick is hype. Axia is so terrifying on assassins. Talon is one of the assassins that is most easily able to transfer a lead that is generated in their own lane to other lanes. This is going to be terrifying. Laying down, coming back with it hot though. 9 Lives immediately picks the Rakan Xayah combo, further synergizing on the synergy in the bot lane.
Little lovebirds. Hey, look, it's Renekton. Everyone make your surprised faces in chat, please.
Yeah, exactly. That was really the only option, because it was obviously going to get banned if it stayed there.
Hey, I mean, if they picked Yorick, you know, good for you, top laner. But no, we're just going to go with his best champion. Let's all yawn. All right, so they banned the Teemo. 9 Lives banned the Teemo last time, actually. It's just nobody likes Teemo. That's fine. And we'll see how 9 Lives adjust the rest of their bans here. Take out the Alistar, not a surprise. Gotta Get Lucky had been playing Caitlyn earlier in the split. I would wonder if they'd ban Caitlyn as well to try to get Gotta Get Lucky on something a little more or a little less in his wheelhouse.
Right. There's a lot of strategy, right? So you can either try to weaken your opponents where they're strong, or you can try to weaken your opponents where you're strong, right? So since Brandana is a source of strength for Team 9 Lives, obviously backed up by that Gregosaurus, it does make sense to weaken the bot lane a little bit with a couple targeted bans.
All right, so they take the Lulu away from Blitzkrieg. Interesting.
Yep, looks like they're dialing into targeted bans on Luffy Senpai, as opposed to sharing the wealth between him and Gotta Get Lucky.
There's going to be a lot of durability on this team if Lofi's cycling is any indication. Oh god, okay. So Blitzkrieg is just going to be 2 huge walls of meat, a big crocodile.
One thing I will point out is that I would love to see a top laner here, a very tanky, a hyper tank top laner. Cyan's still available. I would absolutely love to see that for Udge, because right now there's a very heavy AD favoritism for the Blitzkrieg team, and armor stacking is going to be insane in this match if they manage to get together a front line.
Yeah, Cyan or Cho would be good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Either of those. I think Cyan has suffered a little bit against Renektons early in the LCUS here. I could be wrong, but I mean, every time top laner gets Renekton, things go well. Oh, Malphite's not bad either.
Yeah, perfect, exactly. And that Malphite actually has armor synergy in his own kit to begin with, kind of like Rammus. So that is a great macro decision out of Team 9 Lives.
Well, Gotta Get Lucky mentioned something to me a while ago, and I'm wondering if they're going to do it here.
It would be really interesting to see like something unconventional, like a Brand or a Ziggs ADC. I'm curious what he's going to end up showing us.
Nope, just goes with the Caitlyn. Alright, so all ADC coming out of Blitzkrieg. We'll see if that works to their benefit or not.
Yeah, I think that they'll have a lead in the early game. Xayah does come online much faster than Tristana. Vigard is the late game insurance, I guess. And if I'm going to trust anyone to be in a decent position, it would be Brandana. So I think what this fight is going to break down to is Brandana strong enough in the mid game to get the rest of the team to the late game uh, in order for Nine Lives better, more variant comp to carry them through to victory here. Conversely, I think Blitzkrieg has a great comp for turning online in the early to mid game, and there will be some pretty significant fall off once armor stacking comes into play.
Yeah, there's a lot of CC once again on both sides. Tanks all over the place, so obviously more durability coming out of Blitzkrieg. So I'm really interested to see how this Talon plays. Obviously, as we've said, Exia doing really well on Assassins. So you can't necessarily leave anything out there. However, Veigar is very good at shutting down squishy people. So once Veigar hits 6, I think maybe he could turn that Talon off if he wants to.
Yep, the key in that particular matchup is just whether or not Talon can do it first. Both characters are more than capable of taking the other out. It's just a matter of who does it, who does it first.
Right. And of course, plays on the Gragas are going to be really important. I believe we've seen Spicy Hot meme on Gragas earlier in the split, and there were some missed body slams, some missed barrels, as what happens when you play Gragas. Anyone who plays Gragas can relate to that.
I've messed up more than one cake smasher or whatever his ultimate's called. I certainly certainly have been there before.
So we'll see if he's able to get a little more refinement on there. Will be very, very important to help disable the Renekton's and Talons that will be coming. They don't really have, I mean, other than Malphite's dash, they don't have too much to get into the backline there. I mean, Rakan does have a little bit of a dash too.
Yeah, Rakan actually, I would say that Malphite, Gragas, and Rakan have at least a moderate ability. Malphite has a great ability, but the other two have a moderate ability to get to the backline. So I really like this comp coming out of Nine Lives. Pretty much every single person has a form of CC on Nine Lives. There's a decent disengage in the Rakan and Xayah and Veigar cage to that matter as well. Definitely more so than anything that Blitzkrieg is putting out there. So, but Blitzkrieg does have more damage and more damage early.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically going to be what determines who wins this game.
I think a big issue is going to be if Blitzkrieg gets any sort of lead, because if they get a lead, then Tomcats and Sejuani start getting big, and Nine Lives may not be able to actually kill them.
Right, exactly. That Tom is going to do a great job of keeping the damage dealers alive. The Sejuani obviously is a great frontliner. Renekton is pretty good at it himself. So yeah, absolutely. Whether or not Nine Lives can successfully get to and kill the backline is really the $1 million question.
Yep, a lot of uncertainty here. Blitzkrieg firmly in first place. Nine Lives now gets to claw its way and try to stay in second. And we'll see if they're able to do it as we're heading into this second game of this first set. Once again, sponsored by Foster Adventure. But first up is the Nero Skin Showdown, which Blitzkrieg won very firmly last time. We'll see if their skin game is the same here for game 2.
There are a lot of very good skin potential champions on both teams. I am kind of interested in what options both teams have gone for.
Well, I mean, we've seen the Renekton skins that top laner enjoys using. I imagine it's going to be the one with the weird gums.
Yeah, I always call it denture, but he didn't. He went with Blood Fury.
Blood Fury instead. All right.
I like to pretend he did that because I make fun of the other one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a nice selection here. I think maybe giving it to Nine Lives just because they have the matching Rakan and Xayah skins.
Yeah, not only the matching ones, but I prefer that one just slightly over the Sweetheart brand. So yeah, I think I'm going to give this one to Nine Lives. They've got a pretty respectable skin front.
Shout out to Blood Moon Talon, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a big fan of Lunar Wraith Caitlyn as well. So those are the highlights for Blitzkrieg for me as well.
I don't think I've seen Blood Moon Talon in a game before, so we'll see what it looks like, or I'll see what it looks like. I'm sure the rest of you fine folks can.
Yeah, it's a great in-game skin. I love it.
All right, we have the overlay. We are turning off chat, checking out the score screen, making sure we are caught up. Once people load in, come on, champions.
Yeah. I'm just stuck at 0 seconds here.
There we go. All right, we are in. Everything is good.
Taking a look through the masteries and keystones here, just to take a glance and see if there's anything interesting. Everything's pretty normal. Guardian on Luffy Senpai, who's out of order.
Yep,
in the,
we're working on that.
I just noticed and said it out loud as well. And then Predator Gragas is a very interesting choice. I think that's going to help with his ganks quite a lot, and to some degree his potential to get to the backline. So I'm really interested to see how that one ends up working out. I think most people run with Aftershock for the extra tankiness.
Alright, so some early warding just to see where everyone is, but once again, not too much aggression. Gotta get lucky, he's in a pretty weird position actually here.
You're just kind of hanging out in the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that, depending on what kind of champions you're up against, you could really get punished for. But it doesn't seem like he's that concerned.
Yeah, must have been confident for a reason that I can't figure out. But
well, probably just because CB Hickey and Rakan, or Gregosaurus's Rakan, were both up in the top area.
Yeah, I guess they're having a dance off, weren't they? That makes sense. Looks like both teams are starting their jungler in the bot lane here on their respective buffs. Gonna be some activity likely in the jungle around in the river on the bot side at around 2 minutes, or probably towards the top or mid side around the 3.5-4 minute mark. Something to keep an eye on.
All right, both both bot laners finish up around the same time. A little bit of poke already on CB Hickey. Exia getting really aggressive. Back and forth poke. Gotta get lucky, and Luffy Senpai once again have a bit of a lead. Top laner and Huge also exchanging blows. Huge, of course, has the disadvantage just because of the mana versus no mana, so we'll have to see how he manages that.
Speaking of the top lane matchup, though, I will say that I am a huge fan of this Renekton skin. Not only is the splash art amazing, but I like the in-game model, too.
Shout out for all fans of Klingons.
Oh. Attempted gank in the mid lane.
Yep. Kind of just a walkthrough. Exia respects all that's coming out there and wisely backs off. Alright. So everyone playing relatively safely. Top laners pushing each other back and forth.
So I see how Meme manages to collect both Scudlers. That's always one of my favorite mini objectives as he bumps into washed up top laner and is getting engaged on.
Could take a little damage here. Probably more than he wants to. Exia's here too. Yeah, gets out.
Yeah, that was a Renekton showing why he's such a bully, followed by Talon reminding people that that's something that they've got to pay attention to for the rest of this game.
Yep.
Not more than myself, right?
let's all go play Assassin's Creed, guys. That sounds like a fun game. Let's all jump over walls for a while. Good stun there by Hickey, but no mana to follow it up on. This wave clear from the Talon is really something. Able to get ahead by a nice amount of CS. Huge taken relatively low, but that nice armor shell of his certainly helps.
Yeah, CB's has to spend a bunch of mana. Oh no, Spicy Hot Meme gets electrocuted and ignited and is burst out. Obviously, a Spicy Hot Meme didn't realize how much damage was coming in. It surprised me as well. Huge amount of damage coming out of Exia right away, starting at level 4.
The other problem was that Hickey had no mana. So he couldn't follow up really at all on anything that Meme was trying to do there.
Yeah, especially with teleport up, I would have much rather seen that CB Hickey recalled the base, teleported forward, and then 30 seconds later they could have tried something.
That being said, now I guess Hickey and Meme are probably even. Huge is in a little bit of trouble up here. We'll see if top laner dives. Does not choose to. Huge teleports instead. May end up having to actually run home. This is a. I'm not sure. Oh, Wash Up top laner is tower aggro. Very close to death there.
The Triumph. I'm not sure. Yeah, Udge makes a regrettable choice to go in and engage on that. I think Wash Up top laner was more than happy to let him go back. Engage in the bot lane. Gragas ekes out a flash from Lofi Senpai. So that is a flashless Tahm Kench.
Good awareness by gotta get lucky to throw that trap down. Something I always enjoy to see. Oh, Meme's getting styled on. More of that jumping. Good use of the barrel there. Bought himself that second he needed to get away. And Hickey wisely comes to try help.
Good stuff. Sick Nasty J-Dog getting some aggressive warding off. I do like to see this when you have a lane advantage when you're a jungler. So good stuff all around. Spicy Up Meme had to flash immediately in that last engage too, so that is a pretty major part of his engage offline for the next 5 minutes.
Hickey is at 17 stacks. Verdana got a nice root off there. Ooh, a little bit of a knockup from Gregosaurus. Like to see some feather pulls there. Yeah, good stuff. Top lane still fighting. Top laner now at 6 while Yuge is at 5. Yuge is a fair distance from 6, so he's not going to be able to take advantage of that anytime soon.
He really needs to stand far enough back for his... Oh no, don't do that. You don't have enough armor yet. You can't do that, my dude.
So once again, Wash Up top laner wins a fight under tower. A lot of presence up in the top lane, actually, with them planning a dive there, but instead, Wash Up top laner just handled it all on his own.
I didn't realize that Uge was aware of that and just wanted to die before the rest of the team showed up. At least that's what I'm going to give him credit for. Because he was very likely going to die in either case there, so I can actually understand that.
Once again, Hickey with very low mana. I'd like to see Spicy Hot Meme give Hickey blue buff at this point. Obviously, Exia being as good as he is makes that a bit of a threat, but Hickey keeps running out of mana, and Veigar really needs mana.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that he's doing anything wrong here. He might be spending his abilities a little bit too much or whatever, but really what it is he's just trying to get his stacks in and his farming in. That's how Veigar wants to play.
Alright, so top laner is 2-0. Gold lead 1100 over Malphite. Lovebirds teleport back. I believe this is their first back, so we'll see what items they pick up. And
looks like some pretty big buys. BF Sword and Boots and Dagger, so that's a pretty lethal Brandana.
Exia continues to roam. Might run into Spicy Hot Meme again. Nope, Meme sees it. Exia should have seen that. There was a brief flash there. Let's see if we get some coordination here. Stun misses.
Oh, that was so close.
But once again, even if the stun had landed, Hickey has 33 mana. What are you going to do with 33 mana against a Talon? Not a damn thing.
Yeah, it is pretty critical that that Hickey gets some mana regen items like the Lost Chapter or maybe a Catalyst or something in. It's going to be rough until that happens.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Yuge is still not 6, so he's getting there. Wash Up top laner is pushing level 8. So that's going to be
going very poorly for... Yeah, exactly. Although there is a lane gank coming here for Spicy Hot Meme in that bot lane. Snuck in. Flash engage off of Gregosaurus to get the grand entrance, and fortunately not enough damage goes down.
So many abilities burned there for literally nothing.
It was a good play to make. Unfortunately, the initial opening didn't connect, and there just wasn't enough there after that happened. But it is good to see that Nine Lives is prioritizing their bot line, trying to get Brandana ahead and head early.
But I mean, is that focus what they should be doing right now? Because it keeps not working. So you're wasting Spicy Hot Meme's time, technically, you know, because he's falling behind when he could be farming more.
Yeah, but there isn't that much of his jungle left to do. Anyways, so I think as a jungler, it was an okay usage of his time. But you are correct. It is absolutely an opportunity cost there. When you've got stuff going on like Wash Up Top Laner is big engage. Wash Up Top Laner takes turret aggro, and then Udge is able to ult to lock him up and actually wins the engage. So a little bit of a turnaround for Udge's Malphite.
Yeah, that level 6 ability is so good, but unfortunately for Udge, he's not going to have it again for a while. What?
Yeah,
And that Renekton's coming back. I mean, none of these left, but he'll still be here with his whole kit. And what's Malphite going to do about it? I mean, memes here that could help. But I mean, I'm honestly not a huge fan of meme on Gragas. I mean, I love meme. I think he's a great player, but he seems really vulnerable right now.
Yeah, some junglers have types, right? Oh, great engage on Wash Up Top Laner. Cask is almost up.
See what happens here. They might be able to dive for it. Huge does manage to get the wheel off. Oh, nice. All right, good play there, meme.
Yeah, exactly. And a nice little slow coming in from Udge too. Great teamwork between the two of them. Great work for Spicy Hot Meme to secure that.
Oh, big stun there. Here comes the Vegasaurus. Good charm. That was an amazing charm play. Oh, Exia takes that Spicy Hot Meme, but we're too busy watching the fight down here in the bot lane. Vegasaurus goes in again with a good knockup. Unfortunately, there's too much durability there. And this is the problem with 2 tanks versus no tanks. Or no tanks in a fight. Oh, good turret shot there. Gotta get lucky, bites off farm one, he can chew.
Great roam down from CB Hickey.
Nice. Oh, double kill.
Well done, CB Hickey. Look, he's got the blue buff. You were totally correct. That's all that needed to happen. But joking aside, fantastic game sense out of CB Hickey to do roaming when Exia also roamed. Exia was able to secure that blood on Spicy Hot Meme at the end of the last play where Renekton died. Vigar also roamed but chose the wrong lane, but was able to secure a double kill, which is huge for propelling both the team and Vigar into the late game earlier. That's not something that you want to let happen with a Vigar.
Unfortunately, they also lose 2 turrets in that exchange. So gold lead is now 3.2 in favor of Blitzkrieg.
And while that is absolutely not great for Team 9 Lives, they had lost so much momentum that I think it was really important for them to get some plays in just to set the conditions of the game a little bit favorable to them. So I would call that worth.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I'm not suggesting that what happened was not what they needed to at least feel a little bit better about this game, but they did trade a lot for it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think they lost Dragon too and all that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the Dragon was something that Blitzkrieg was just taking, so they didn't necessarily lose it. They just weren't able to steal it.
I guess that makes sense. Exia has looking for something in the bot lane. Spicy Hot Meme's doing a really good job of keeping his jungle clear, which makes it a little bit harder for Exia to find something. But meanwhile, Sick Nasty J-Dog and Wash Up Top Laner are securing that Rift Herald, which is just going to help the rich get richer.
I'm guessing they'll go bot lane with it. I can't imagine where else they'll get a whole lot of great value out of it.
Yeah, that is what I'd like to see out of the Rift Herald.
But we'll see. I mean, there's looking to be a big engage in the mid lane here. Malphite gets caught, ults out. Really good job there. Good plays by Spicy Hot Meme and CB Hickey, but unfortunately there's just too much CC there. Hickey getting chased by a big old crocodile. It manages to get away.
I really like that Zonia's coming out of Spicy Hot Meme. He, got nailed by the Glacial Prism from J-Dog's Sejuani and was absolutely going to die. There was nothing he could do to prevent that, including use the Zonias, but it did buy about 3 seconds of time for the rest of his team to make it out there safely so that there's only 1 fatality.
Well, it was a stopwatch, which is OP, right, your congressman. Ooh, big knock up there by Gregosaurus, but once again, we're in a situation where Brandana ends up just putting damage on a tank who doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. And even if they do catch up, gotta get lucky, just like they did just now. There's always that Devour coming out of Tahm Kench, preventing that damage coming through. But the Grand Entrance is able to clear
good
both.
angle.
Brandana flashes forward with the ult, I believe. Exia's roams back in, gets the damage in. I think this is going to be cleaned up, but I wonder if Brandana is able to get out. Spicy Hot Meme just jump in.
Me coming in there.
Is able to get the kills. Is he going to be able to kill Lofi Senpai as well? There is a CB Hickey as well. Just need a little bit more slow coming out of a Spicy Hot Meme. And there's a Sedge, so I'm not sure that's going to happen anymore.
Oh, this time just misses. Everything just misses. Senpai gets away.
Still, though, fantastic cleanup coming out of 9 lives. They made a good situation into a bad one, back into a good one, and then almost into a great one. So really worked out in their favor, and that's great news for the team 9 lives, who is a bit behind.
Really good job by Gregosaurus, able to follow up on that Tahm Kench and make sure that when Gotta Get Lucky is deposited out, they're both still knocked up or charmed.
Yeah, exactly. He was in exactly the right position for that and had just enough time left on Grand Entrance to make sure that happened. That was pretty instrumental.
Well, now we'll see what Exia can come back with. Did die for the first time, gave a lot of gold to Spicy Hot Meme for that.
Yeah, which is going to help get the tank of Spicy Hot Meme in. I'm looking at the itemization choices out of Spicy Hot Meme's Gragas, and he's going into Runic Echoes, which is a bit like Luden's Echoes, the jungler item. So it's showing a bit more AP-heavy build coming out of Gragas. I would like to see him build lots of tank, but it looks like he's prioritizing a bit of damage first.
All right, big plays here coming in the mid lane. CB Hickey strangely decides to go in on that. Exia takes a couple of tower shots. And now here comes the Sejuani popping the Rift Herald. But we're looking for a big fight here. Alright, so in goes the Rakan, knocks up 2. Tower immediately goes down. Moving in on J-Dog, who manages to get out. You just getting focused as well. It actually looks as though they're going to back off here.
Yeah, it worked out a bit there for 9 lives. That Rift Herald was able to knock down that turret, but that's okay. The turret was almost over, and they did spend a Rift Herald just to secure it. Unfortunately, for Team 9 lives, Brandana was a little bit behind on that rotation, not able to pump out the damage that he needed to. But it worked out. They did their defense successfully and went home to tell the tale.
Yeah, they scared off Blitzkrieg. I think Blitzkrieg could feel that there was no tempo there for them, and they just had to get out of there. Gotta Get Lucky starting this Cloud Drake. Exia and Lofi are there as well, but their jungler and top laner are not. Looks as though they're okay with washed up split pushing here. But let's see if 9 lives can do anything about this. It doesn't look like they're thinking about it. Gregosaurus is still kind of hovering there. Oh!
Wonderful! Stolen by Brandana with the twin feathers. That was perfect timing.
That's why you sweep wards before you do dragon, kids. Here's your life lesson for the day.
Yeah, and 2 control wards on Sejuani. That's unfortunate. Missed the smite. Didn't put the control ward down. Sorry, J-Dog. I shouldn't be pointing it out, but...
Alright, Hickey was almost caught in the jungle there, but everyone goes back now. So now 9 lives, still down almost 6k gold, which is incredibly dangerous. But these small little encounters, they've at least been generally coming out equal.
And what I do want to point out is that there is a big disadvantage on the top and jungle side for 9 lives just in that gold farm. But the damage dealers, the Vigar and the Brandana, are doing fine this match, which means that if the CC lands, 9 lives will have the ability to kill the team, and that wasn't necessarily the case the last game. So there's actually a solid chance for 9 lives despite this gold deficit.
Well, we'll see what happens. Do have the Tahm Kench and washed up top laner jumping in here. Rakan trying to sacrifice himself so Brandana can get away. Brandana should take him up on that. But they are going to get under turret here. Washed up top laner just does not care. Flashes for it. Spicy Hot Meme dies somewhere else. We're watching bot lane here. Sorry about that. Top laner survives with very little health. Everyone survives with very little health. And the lovebirds go down.
That, mechanically speaking, in a 2v3, Brandana and Gregosaurus played that perfectly. Unfortunately, the rotation and macro play coming out of Blitzkrieg was more than enough to secure the kill, although they do almost trade it back. A Spicy Hot Meme gets killed in rotation trying to get to that bot lane to help defend them by Exia, who is also roaming just a little bit later than the rest.
Yeah, like I said, Spicy Hot Meme feels very vulnerable right now. Exia is more than willing to jump in on him, take out the big man. Hickey, once again, no mana. 82 stacks.
And Spicy Hot Meme is so squishy on account of the decision that he's made at the start of the game here. He's running with Predator as opposed to Aftershock or something that would help him be a little bit more tanky. I think I would have preferred to see Aftershock personally. And the decision to start with Runic Echoes instead of Cinderhulk, which is the tanky option with the AoE damage, I would have preferred to see those options out of Spicy Hot Meme. Although I do have the benefit of 2020 hindsight, and there may have been a strategy involved that made him play that way.
Alright, if I was 9 lives right now, I think I would go a little bit more into the bot lane. That turret is very close to dying. You need to get that turret gold to get the game swinging somehow on your favor. We're around the 8k gold mark, so, you know, allegedly there's no way for them to come back from this. But maybe they can do it. And turrets are a big way to start doing that.
Yeah, and there's always a chance, right? And actually, I think that 9 lives is very behind, but I don't think that they're out. I would like to kind of see some plays out of them here, and this is a great one.
Yeah, grab an exit is a good place to start. Good positioning there. Just waiting for that Talon to come over the wall. Good job by Gregosaurus.
Yeah, exactly, and forced out by a Spicy Hot Meme. Predator did come in very handy there to get things moving. Perfectly layered CC coming out of 9 lives, but they did basically have to send everyone after one target, and that is kind of just the state that the game is in right now.
Sacrificing bot turret to take out the mid lane. See, at this point, what I would have maybe done is gone for the mid turret. I don't know how effective that would have been, but it would have been at least them showing a little bit more aggression. Send maybe Brandana and Gregosaurus into the mid lane to try to focus on that turret while everyone else holds bot lane. Wash up top laner, waiting to see if anyone's going to come bot, but no one's falling for it. Well, they're going for the mid turret now, but at this point, got to get lucky, and Lofi are there. Meme taking a lot of damage. Ooh, top laner is coming from behind. This is going to be a very unfortunate sandwich with a crocodile on the backside. But here we go. A lot of stuns.
Go for it, all you.
Okay, a lot of stuns, a lot of damage, but unfortunately everyone's just too squishy for top laner. Big ult there. They might get Exia here. Oh, Exia does jump right into Luffy Senpai's mouth. And 2 deaths to 1. But no objectives lost there, so just the 2 kills to 1. I mean, they can't get much further behind at this point, so that doesn't hurt them too badly.
Yeah, exactly. And Udge, Brandana, and Gregosaurus are alive, so there is a world where a decent defense could be made here on some of the objectives. I don't know what they're going to prioritize going for. Caitlyn establishes that trap line before this fight gets started. Big engage out of Gregosaurus, gets a knockup on all of them. Grand Entrance is able to get back out safely. Bunch of damage coming on the Luffy Senpai, and gotta get lucky. Looks like this is going to be disengaged. Probably the right call, but they were able to successfully defend their inhibitor and their turret. Never mind, the fight continues. Gregosaurus jumps forwards, knocks up 2 in the middle of recalling Luffy Senpai, and Exia are forced to hoof it. Exia has all of that talent mobility, but Luffy Senpai doesn't quite have as much. Looks like they definitely want to go in for this kill. The team is running back around, forces out the flash from Luffy Senpai's Tahm Kench, and the team backs up into relative safety. I don't know how much further they're going to carry this.
Well, I like this rotation just naturally into this dragon. That's a good way to settle for it. Taking that second place, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be very critical. It would have been perhaps a little bit better for 9 life, for Team 9 Lives to get that blue buff earlier for like CB Hickey's mana and stuff like that, but certainly still beneficial at this stage of the game as well. And it is very convenient, like you said, that the chase led them straight to it. Looks like they're cognizant of this Baron start by Team Blitzkrieg. I wonder if they're going to be able to defend it in time. Definitely is seen now by the team.
Yeah, Gregosaurus doing a little bit of a sweep here. The damage really isn't there because of the fact that we're dealing mostly with tanks beating on it. Washed Up top laner playing defense. However, even with the slowest damage in the world, it's still happening while all his posturing is going on. Brandana is not there. Brandana, you got to get into this fight. Big stun there on Washed Up top laner, but not hit by very much. With 7,000 hit points left, Huge comes in. Big distraction. Gregosaurus there too. Lots of knockups, lots of CC. Sejuani knockup comes in as well, or stun comes in as well, but the pickoffs are happening. Washed Up top laner, your health is too low for this. Exia, where are you? Exia took out the Spicy Hot meme there, but that's really all he was able to do, and they chased them off Baron.
This Udge is tracking the Washed Up top laner. He has slows and movement speeds. I think that Washed Up top laner is going to die. It does run into a Talon, but is secured by that Vygar CB Hickey. More stacking coming onto that Vygar. Definitely not what you want if you're a Blitzkrieg fan. The Baron is kept alive. It does not die. And Team 9 Lives is able to continue to stall this game despite that 8k gold deficit.
Yeah, that was a really good combo of plays with Huge and Gregosaurus doing 2 knockups in a row. Was able to get some spongy damage there. Exia walks into the wrong neighborhood, but should be able to get out as well. CB Hickey has to burn Flash to prevent being collapsed on.
I do like that the flash out by CB Hickey. Twice now he's been just pixels off on that stun onto Exia, which would have been fantastic for 9 Lives, but I think that they will take the consolation prize of continuing to fight through this game and starting to improve their situation just a little bit further every time. Now it's just about a 6k gold lead in the favor of Team Blitzkrieg. Sizable improvement over the previous 8k gold lead.
Veigar is able to, at this point, it looks like 3-shot Caitlyn, which is important since Caitlyn will not be building health. So every second that passes, Veigar gets closer and closer to 2-shotting, 1-shotting this Caitlyn.
Yeah, exactly. That's incredibly important in a world where you have Brandana on your team as well, to have that second credible threat. That way they're not able to just solely focus one character, and that CB Hickey is able to make that a challenge.
Good job by Huge there. Doesn't necessarily stop the invisibility, but there's slow. There's Gregosaurus again. Gregosaurus great at predicting Exia here. Exia's going for another jump, but doesn't quite make it. Meanwhile, on the other side of it, CB Hickey almost gets grabbed, but manages to back off. Washed Up top laner is trying to split push. They're going to collapse on Lofi Senpai here. He's tanky, but he's not tanky for 5 people beating on him tanky. But top laner actually doesn't decide to push this. Decides to fall back. I'm surprised. I would have gotten a few hits on the turret if I was him.
Yeah, and maybe he could have stayed a little bit longer, but the decision to back off is the correct one there, because he was just going to get rotated on. Teleporting to the mid lane for that defense, it looks like Team Blitzkrieg is interested in losing less as opposed to taking more. Interesting call. I'm not sure if it's right or wrong at this point, but things have not been going in their favor for the last couple of team fights.
Alright, so Gregosaurus puts down some wards, so they'll have an eye on this Baron. Having an eye on the Baron is probably the best they can hope for right now. Meme should probably get out of there. Good. Alright, yeah, so as you said, they're playing a stall game right now, and it's working okay for them. Next dragon will be another Ocean Drake, won't be up for a little bit yet. And we'll have to see if they're able to pull this off.
Yeah, and the gold lead continues to shrink. It's down to 5-ish K, a little bit over 5K now. And not only that, but the gold totals have increased so much that the relative difference in power is just shrinking every minute that this game goes on. That's great for 9 Lives. And 9 Lives has the better late game comp when you consider that armor stacking and that Vygar has infinite scaling and things like that.
Yep, but Vygar's infinite scaling is currently at 128, so we'll see how much higher that gets. And we'll see if they can pick somebody off. I would like to see some more wards out of 9 Lives at this point. They only have 4 or 5 on the map. They are in reasonable positions, but you might be able to catch someone like Gotta Get Lucky if you put a few further up in the red jungle. Exit is spotted.
Yeah, I was going to say, you and I were going to make the same point. Lots of careful tracking of that Exia. He is still such a threat for Team 9 Lives. It's great to see that their communication is as high as it is if you're a 9 Lives fan.
Spicy Hat Meme taking the time to clear out control wards placed on Baron to keep all those wards alive. Exia is here. This could be a bit of a sandwich here. Everyone from Blitzkrieg is coming in to collapse. Well, actually, it looks like top lane is backing off.
Yeah, Spidey senses must have been going off hard for 9 lives because they chose to back out at exactly the last moment, but they're able to make that rotation in time to avoid any confrontation at all.
I think the 2 Zanyas on 9 lives is kind of funny. Um, we'll see if they're able to play some sort of timing games out with that, maybe against important ults or something like that. But Blitzkrieg is starting the Baron again. Huge does have teleport available, and that's going to be important. Wards were cleared out. There's a bit of a slow reaction to this. Brandana's trying to chase top laner. That may not be the best use of his time.
Alan jumps on CB Hickey. Zonias comes in, keeps him alive for just a second longer, but not long enough. This is not working out well. They need to disengage immediately. Brandana is still continuing to duel. Washed up top laner, flashes forward, gets the callback route. Washed up top laner deletes Brandana. That's super unfortunate for Team 9 lives. Meanwhile, the rest of the team disengages, and it is just CB Hickey and Brandana, the 2 carries of Team 9 life that go down. Fight continues, but I don't know how many more cooldowns there is left for Team Blitzkrieg to chase this down. I think they're going to get out okay from here, but at what cost?
Yeah, they may end up losing a turret here. Poor Spicy Hat Meme has been trying to get away from Exia. Does manage to sidestep him there. Oh, may actually... This is going to get close. I was going to say, Spicy Hat Meme does have the damage potential. Can sense Exia coming. Oh my god!
Great play out of Spicy Hot Meme. I've been critical, but that Zonia's wasn't even needed. Just the right itemization with that armor into that Exia, into Talon's Exia, is able to secure the kill by correctly guessing when Talon was going to come at him. Great play.
Yeah, really good instincts there, and good job using Gragas's passive to just constantly keep that regeneration alive.
Yeah, I missed most of the fight as the rest of the team fight, or most of that chase as the rest of the team fight engaged. But given how much damage Exia can do, Spicy Hot Meme must have been playing out of his mind to stay alive and to pull that threat away from the team for so long.
Yeah, there were a lot of mind games there. He was going into brushes and then stepping out of them, and Exia was trying to predict it. But now they have 2 Ocean Drakes, so that's going to help out the Veigar quite a lot. Baron is still alive. Let's keep noting this. Even if fights aren't going 9 lives' way, they're now down 7,000 gold again. But the Baron has not died. That being said, Gregosaurus might get picked off here. Nope.
Yeah, he's got more than enough mobility. He got out okay. Bit of a counter engage coming for Spicy Hot Meme. Forces out the Devourer and gotta get lucky. Doesn't look like much is going to happen to this, but it is interesting to note that Team 9 lives, while behind, is able to secure three of the last dragons, I believe, consecutively.
Yeah, I think you're right. Alright, so they just dropped some wards. They've got the scuttles, so they have vision that can't be denied. And they'll just wait to see what Blitzkrieg decides to do here. Hickey is at 139 stacks now. So staying back and farming is not the worst thing in the world for a Veigar at this point. Got to keep an eye on that mid lane, of course, with the inhibitor down. Still 6 turrets to 2. Looks like Blitzkrieg is wisely trying to focus on the last outer turret here.
Yeah, exactly. Team 9 Lives has done such a great job of grouping up together and fighting around these objectives. It's obviously not working for Team Blitzkrieg to just meet them with that. They still do have 2 significant lane advantages in their Exia versus CB Hickey and their Wash Up top laner versus Udge. Wash Up top laner is certainly able to still take objectives even through Udge as long as he plays correctly. Exia definitely able to kill CB Hickey. So they split into a 1-3-1 to try to see if that works out any better for them than the team fights that haven't been lately.
A lot of wards dropped from Blitzkrieg into this area, and it's a 3v4 currently. I don't think this is going to go well for 9 lives. We'll see. They're holding okay so far. Huge actually dealing a lot of damage to Washed Up top laner. I think top laner is going to be forced to head back, but we'll see what happens. Turret aggro does happen to land. Oh, Spicy Meme takes out. Gotta get lucky. Missed that there. Sorry, folks.
No, I saw it happen in a split. Gotta get lucky. He's been hanging out at 200 health this whole time. Spicy Hot Meme, what he does is he dashes forward with his body slam. Never mind that, a big engage coming out on Exia. Gregosaurus does another great job of preventing that damage coming through. The strategy of keep Brandana alive is absolutely working out in 9 Lives' favor, and Gregosaurus is making that happen.
Yeah, the charms and the knockups that Gregosaurus has been putting out cannot be overstated as to how effective they have been shutting this Talon down. Talon hasn't gotten any kills for a long time and has died twice since then. Since the last time I cared to look at his stats.
Yeah, I think the last kill he got was in that kill on CB Hickey next to Baron. The last time that there was a Baron fight 40 years ago or whatever that was. And before that, it'd been even longer. Basically, Nine Lives is doing a great job of shutting him down.
Gold lead is still about 7k. Top laner is just living in bot lane currently, which is, confusing everyone who's trying to follow along with these names. Almost 4,000 health on this alligator. Someone needs to tell Tahm Kench he's supposed to be the tank. Sejuani actually doing pretty well too. Sejuani and the crocodile, both huge health totals.
And I do kind of like that, although oh, never mind. Big fight on Tahm Kench. Cask is sent a little bit too far forward. No CC connects. Looks like a back off coming up as Udge faces down. Wash up top laner in the bot lane.
Big stun there. A lot of damage coming out, but Huge is no slouch either. Exia gets trapped, not stunned. Does have Archangels. Gets knocked into the stun. That was really good. So the resurrection's coming up. Brandana is on the front lines, though. You need your tanks, Brandana. So Brandana going down. That's going to be a lot of the damage taken out there, but the talent gets absolutely deleted. Could they blast cone out of this? They do try to, but unfortunately it doesn't hit anybody important. Hickey tries to get out, does flash. It looks as though Spicy Hat Meme may die here, and does. Brandana sacrificing self. Oh, actually manages to dash out. That worked out pretty well. There is the... Nope. Hourglass doesn't work out for him either. Alright, so that's the fight that's going to break the horse's back, I think.
Yeah, there's this exposed inhibitor, and there is just a Gregosaurus up. I missed what happened to Udge. I saw him tracking a little bit behind, washed up top laner, but the teamfight was already over, and I'm not sure what ended up happening there. It is down to Gregosaurus to try to defend this. There aren't any minions. That is the saving grace here. There are a couple seconds left on the timers here. Brandana is almost up. They might be able to hold this with his help. Spicy Hot Meme is 10 seconds out, and the rest of the team 20 seconds.
Yeah, they choose to back off. I'm actually really surprised by that choice. You have two champions with 4,000 hit points. Tank the turrets, for God's sakes.
Right, and Sejuani even has Warmog, so any damage isn't going to stick through it. I don't necessarily understand this decision. It is the safer one, so I do want to give credit to Team Blitzkrieg here for trying to go for the safer option, the slow and steady, but this gives time for Nine Lives to recover and to come back, and the teleport comes in. Grand entrance, knock-up coming out of Gregosaurus.
Takes out. Gotta get lucky.
Massive layered CC on Team Blitzkrieg. They're doing great. Brandana's still at full health, more than capable of dealing damage. They locked down the secure, and Team Blitzkrieg was nice enough to damage that Baron down to about a quarter of his health in order to give them a nice leash and that Baron, and that is exactly why that they should have gone to finish the game instead of falling back for Baron. That is absolutely tragic for Team Blitzkrieg. Gives Team Nine Lives so much potential to get back into the game.
Yeah, most of the fights that Nine Lives has been winning are due to the fact that they have been fighting at this Baron pit so many times, and that close area gives all the CC so much more impact. One thing I will choose to nitpick here is I do not agree with Hickey's choice at all to walk to that fight. He had teleport available. And if the fight had not gone Nine Lives' way, we would be questioning the choice to not teleport there.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly could have helped. Although I guess I could have seen a different world as Nine Lives focuses on that Elder Drake. It's actually dropping quite fast.
I actually do not agree with this choice at all. Good job actually pushing this out. They will manage to get it. Oh, and Blitzkrieg backs off.
I actually kind of like this choice. Now Blitzkrieg can't fight Team Nine Lives while Nine Lives has that Baron buff, and it takes both neutral objectives off the map. I think that this is very critical for Team Nine Lives because it allows them to just go back to their team fights. There's two less objectives they have to worry about. Any opportunity that Team Blitzkrieg had to split apart that Nine Lives team is gone and off the map for the next 5 or 6 minutes.
This kind of, though, leads me into something I was going to comment on earlier. I don't really agree with the choice that basically anyone at Nine Lives made to immediately go back after taking Baron. Someone could have gone top lane, cleared out the big wave that was up there, gotten the turret pushed in, and then you wouldn't have just lost your last inner turret.
Yeah, and you know, we had kind of wished that CB Hickey had teleported to the Baron pit, but especially with that teleport up. Never mind, big engage Grand Entrance is spent. Exia does jump back forward. Cask also goes out. Not much happens, but this is going to free up the territory for that Baron buff siege minion to destroy that turret from range safely.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously there's a lot of damage coming out, and Blitzkrieg is respecting it, but at the same time it was a 4v5 there. So maybe they should have tried to take advantage of that. Udge is a big part of this, and he's up top lane currently. Doing a lot of damage though, should get that other turret. Baron buff is expiring in, I don't know, a minute, probably less. And Elder Drake should be gone soon also.
I do kind of like this play since they have that Elder Drake. That 4v5 isn't quite as bad as it would be otherwise. And I think the general strategy here is to let those siege minions do their thing in peace. Never mind, big fight comes out. Knock up into Cask. Tom Kench exploded without that gray health. That is not good.
I have a general announcement to everyone. Brandana's online.
And he's feeling it too, with a flash forward into Featherstorm, pulling it back, killing Gotta Get Lucky, putting his stamp on this, and showing everyone why he's such a big threat.
I think 9 lives might actually be, well, we'll see. Big damage there, but there's so much. Brandana's not getting focused at all. 9 lives may prove that they have 9 lives and are going to break the 7,000 gold curse again.
And in this case, it was 8 lives that they spent to secure it, but 9 lives pulls through. They had 1 left in the tank, and they're able to take it 1-1 versus Team Blitzkrieg to maintain status quo.
Whew. Great job by 9 lives turning that back. All those Baron fights.
They played around those neutral objectives perfectly. Team Blitzkrieg wasn't ever able to quite figure out a way to break the base completely open, and 9 Lives was able to successfully defend both neutral objectives for the duration of the game. That was a great team effort coming out of every single member of 9 Lives, and just fantastic play overall.
And a very similar graph to last time, only it's flipped this time. You've got one person with all the damage, and the top laner on the other team with damage. But double the damage of I think actually Brandana outs-damaged the entire opposing team.
Yeah, it's certainly close. I'm not willing to do all that math in my head right now.
No, it's a little bit less. They managed to squeak it out, but that's still incredibly impressive.
And something that was really interesting to me is Talon, Exia's Talon jumped out of the gate with like 7 kills right off the bat. And he just wasn't able to do much for the last 2/3 of the game. And a lot of that is due to 9 Lives playing correctly around it. But unfortunately, that pick wasn't able to accomplish much.
Yeah, I think Exia roamed a little too much, was trying too much to get those picks on his own. We saw him wandering through the jungle over and over and over again. But a lot of it was just the overall focus they had on that Baron pit, and how well 9 Lives team synergized with that small, close environment. However, damage aside, Gregosaurus was a big part of that, and we have an interview with him in the interview room, so we'll head over there. Gregosaurus, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so you saved everyone on the team 1,000 times in that last game, and we appreciated every one of it. What kind of mentality were you going into against Exia specifically to make that work?
Well, we know that Exia plays a lot of assassins, and we know that he's a very skilled player, so we tried to take as many of those off the board as we could for the second game in particular. The first one, obviously, we threw a Renekton ban. It washed up. We felt as though we were penalized for that pretty heavily with the Ahri being left up, so we decided to put as much focus on keeping Exia down as we possibly could.
Yeah, it certainly worked. You did a really good job. We noticed a couple of times tracking him through walls, so as soon as he jumped over, you just shut him down.
Yeah, it was a point of pride at that point. I was sick of him killing my carries, so...
Yeah, I could kind of tell there was like a period where like 3 for 3 times that he tried to escape, you would like laser focused onto his location, and just it seemed very happy to ruin his day.
Well, I mean, he was the primary concern. Renekton split push was definitely a problem, but dealing with Exia was 100% what we needed to do in that game. Certainly wasn't any concern from Gotta Get Lucky, so...
Throwing some shade to the often little SmackDown talks that I see on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we talk about a lot when we're casting these games is the arbitrary 7,000 gold cap that always seems to spell the doom of a team that's that far behind. You guys fell below 7,000 several times. What kind of mentality do you try to set up, or does your team have when you're that far down? What were you guys thinking during those struggling minutes?
I can tell you that the team gets a little quieter, and it's simply a matter of just focusing on individual game and making sure that nobody makes any large mistakes, and trying to capitalize on when the enemy team does make a mistake. In particular, in this game, when they went for that Baron fight and they were doing it incredibly slowly, and when we were able to put them down, or at least stop them from doing the Baron on that fight, that's when we started to communicate more and figured out a way to get back into the game.
Yeah,
And actually, sorry, go ahead, Kenneth.
I was just going to say, it seemed like the two tanks were both working for their benefit early game, but then mid, they didn't have the damage to try to take the objectives they were working on.
For sure. Yeah, it was just a matter of beating them to the punch around the macro game.
Yeah, and actually that's where I was going to go with it. I wanted to say that despite being like 7 or 8,000 gold behind for much of the mid game, Nine Lives was throwing down a textbook example of how to control neutral objectives while in a losing like game situation. Was there anything in particular that your team was focused on during that period? Like I noticed that you grouped up, for example.
The big thing was making sure that we didn't, like you mentioned, making sure Exia just didn't get complete unchecked access to the entire map. Trying to keep wards as many places as we could. Props to the other team. They were very good at making sure that our vision was cleared out. And then we would go back and clear it back over. There's a lot of vision wars going on. But that was the primary concern, was making sure we didn't get picked off.
All right. Well, congratulations once again, and good luck with the rest of the split.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so with that, we will be heading into the next set of games. It will be Northern Storm versus Option 12. I'll be handing over caster duties and see you guys on set 3, but please stick around. We'll be right back.